Hi, welcome back to the PSC Parenting Inspirations page. For those of you who don't know, my name is Jackie Hall and I'm the founder of the Parental Stress Centre of Australia. This week in our PSC Parenting Inspirations group, we've been talking a lot about anger management and specifically the cause of anger. The cause of anger, as we put it, is a conflict between belief, which is how I'm perceiving life, and reality. So we've been talking about how that plays out in our life, how the perception that we have of a situation is different to the reality of what the situation actually is. But it doesn't just, the conflict between belief and reality isn't just about being in conflict with the reality of the event. Sometimes it's when we're in conflict with the reality of life, and more specifically, the reality of self-worth. The only reason why anybody ever gets upset is because they've personalized an event. They've made that event mean something about themselves or their life. And so sometimes what's behind our anger is actually something about how we're perceiving ourselves. Now let's take an achiever, for example. An achiever's mindset says that I should be able to do more, be more, have more, control more, learn more, apply more, so I get life right. They have a picture in their mind of what they want to achieve. They think they should be able to achieve it. Parents in particular have probably been really successful at being an achiever before children. So when children come along, and the reality is that you can't control your children, you can influence them, you can help them learn, you can teach them, you can give them cause and consequences and rewards, but you can't control their behavior. That's something only they can do. But an achiever and a perfectionist even feels like they should be able to control. And so the conflict with reality is that, one, I believe I can control, and two, it's the conflict within myself when I feel like a failure because I haven't achieved that right path that I think I should. So we have a picture, the achiever, the perfectionist, or anybody for that matter, has a picture of how life is supposed to go on a minor level or a major level, and if we can't get life to go that way for whatever reason, might just be because the strategy you're using is not working, or you weren't able to control your child's emotion, they were at a different developmental stage than you would have liked them to be. Any anomaly can stop you from not getting what you want, and that's the reality of life. But what happens is we get into this story of what this means about me, that I should be able to prove that I can control my children. I should be able to show other people that I'm organized, that I've got it together, because I'm that achiever and they see me that way, so I've got to live up to that expectation. You see, when we're young, we have very quickly we have roles that we play and roles that we adopt, and we can learn either through the pursuit of pleasure, we get accolades or rewards for playing a certain role, or we can play a certain role in order to avoid pain. So we can adopt the role of a people pleaser to perhaps make our parents happy or to protect our younger siblings. Maybe we developed a people pleaser approach because we don't like conflict, because we experienced it when we were young. And so the people pleaser can stop you from having to be assertive with your kids, or whenever they're upset you struggle with that, and so you get angry because you feel like you can't control their pain, you can't stop their pain, because really it's what you were wanting to do when you were a child. So there's lots of reasons behind why we can feel angry. The achiever, the perfectionist, the people pleaser, these are really common ones. The organized one is another one that can cause a lot of stress in parents, because I believe that I should be able to have everything all organized, that I used to be known for my organization, so when things are out of place I kind of go into this panic because I'm fearful of what people will think of me if I'm not playing that role. And the fear ultimately comes from your own judgment about yourself because you're not able to live up to those roles. So achiever, perfectionist, organized one, good enough is another one. How do I prove my worth? I have to have it all together. I have to show that I can do it all. I can be that perfect parent. But what often happens is it leads us further from the goal because we're focusing our mind on how we're not achieving it. And so we just end up finding more and more evidence of how we're not achieving it. So we try harder and we put more things on our plate and we keep doing more, being more, having more. And this is the mindset behind anger. The mindset is I should be able to do some action or multiple actions to get life right. And that in itself is the conflict with reality. Reality is your worth is intrinsic. You don't have to prove yourself of any kind of role that you play in life. You don't have to be anyone specific. That you contribute to people's lives all of the time. You contribute to their learning. You contribute to the life going to plan for them. You contribute to life not going to plan, which then sparks learning, which then sparks experience. We're all here experiencing life and we all have our highs and lows. The person that you have to be is who you want to be. And it's okay to want to be an achiever. It's okay to want to be a perfectionist. It's okay to want to be the organized one. But it's the self-worth component that's tripping you up. It's the self-worth component that's causing you to feel like there's just something more that I need to do so that I can get life right and I can feel good enough. But you got to be your own internal measure of worth. This is what we teach in our 28-day Tame Your Temper Parenting Challenge, to help understand the thinking behind your anger. What's really driving you? What's really bothering you about those situations? Because yes, sometimes on a surface level, it can be that I'm in conflict with the reality of what my children are doing, and I need to bring my attention back into the present moment so that I can deal with the situation more effectively. But sometimes we have to go a little bit deeper than that. Sometimes we have to look at what is it that I actually think this event means about me? What is it that I'm trying to prove or maintain or achieve in order to feel good enough? Why is it that I'm not accepting of life's ups and downs? Because so often parents will say, I don't even know why I get riled up about this sort of thing. I don't even know, they're just silly little things. But they just tend to take me from 0 to 100 in a heartbeat. And it doesn't have to be that way. But what we do need to do is kind of drill down to the core of what it is you're thinking in order to feel this way, how you're personalizing the event. So think about it. Ask yourself that very question, because when you ask yourself questions, you will find that your brain will start looking for evidence. So ask yourself, what must I be thinking in order to feel this way? How am I perceiving life in this moment? How am I perceiving my self-worth? What was the right path, the right picture that I'm supposed to be living up to, that these events seem to be taking away from? They seem, because what we think is the events are taking something away from my ability to do something that proves my worth. So have a think about it. And let me know in the comments what you think may be triggering you to get angry underneath it all.